Welcome back to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called A Lawyer. My wife works at a store that sells hammers and other tools. One day, a customer came to the service desk with a large broken outdoor umbrella. The first thing he said was, "I'm a lawyer," as though it was meant to be intimidating. He then demanded a refund for the umbrella he claimed to have purchased the morning before. It was clear the umbrella had been damaged by strong winds, and the previous afternoon had been particularly windy. The staff declined his request for a refund, since the damage wasn't due to a defect. The customer became rather unpleasant and threatened to escalate the issue to corporate. Despite his behavior, the staff politely wished him a good day. Later on, the broken umbrella was discovered abandoned in the parking lot. The team reviewed sales records and CCTV footage to identify the customer and reported the incident to the local council for illegal dumping. The next story is called Police Revenge. For the past several weeks or months, we've had the same large van parked in the entrance to our apartment complex every day. It caused all sorts of problems, including parking on double yellow lines, blocking the end of a junction, obstructing a dropped curb and the footpath, making it difficult for residents to see when pulling out, preventing large vehicles from entering, and parking directly in front of our no parking sign. I reported it to the police multiple times, but nothing seemed to change. So I decided to try a different approach. One day, when the van was parked in its usual spot, I went outside with a jar of jam and lightly spread some on the handle of the driver's door. A little while later, I saw the owner walking around the van, pacing and on the phone. Not long after, the police arrived, and he showed them the vandalism. The officers didn't stick around long, but the owner quickly moved his van after that. The best part? He hasn't parked there since. The third story is called God Sees You. During college, I worked part-time at a men's clothing store. I was a good salesperson, and my sales numbers were consistently high. While we didn't work on commission, getting credit for sales in the eyes of the manager was a big deal. The assistant manager was a younger guy who was friends with the manager. They also attended the same church, and it was very important to them. We weren't allowed to play regular rock music in the store, only Christian rap or other approved music. They'd also occasionally play a religious talk radio show over the store speakers. I didn't mind too much, it was part of the job. But the assistant manager's behavior was harder to tolerate. He often made snide remarks about me being in college, saying things like, "I would have thought a college guy like you would know how to do this simple task." He seemed to enjoy pointing out any mistake I made, no matter how small. At the end of every shift, we had to balance the cash register manually. This was in the early 90s, so we'd compare the register totals with the receipt tape and send the figures to corporate using a dial-up system. If the totals were off by even a penny, we had to figure out why. Sometimes the manager would cover small differences out of his own pocket, if he was closing. After about a year, corporate noticed discrepancies in the deposits. Over time, these small differences added up to a few $100s, which was enough to raise suspicions. Without telling anyone, the manager and corporate installed a security camera above the register. A few days later, the assistant manager was fired. The camera caught him taking small amounts of cash from the register, likely for things like lunch at the mall food court. The timing was interesting, because the day before he was fired, we'd had an argument on the sales floor, right in front of customers. The argument ended with him loudly saying that God was always watching me and that I would face judgment someday. It turns out though that being watched went both ways. While I didn't take any satisfaction in seeing him get fired, I couldn't help but feel a little ironic justice in this situation. The last story is called Yelling Manager. This happened when I was 16 and had my first job at Circuit City. Around the holidays, prices on items would change, and it was someone's responsibility to go around and place new price tags. One day I was helping a couple who were confused about a tag on a brand new speaker. The price tag read $199 instead of $199. If this were me today, I probably would have bought all the speakers and called it a day. But this couple was honest and wanted to know the actual price. When I scanned the item, it rang up as $199. So I went to get the manager. Back in the aisle, alongside the couple, we all looked at the tags. The manager got upset and started yelling at me, saying things like, "How could you not notice this?" And, "Do you even pay attention?" He even pointed his finger in my face. The couple, visibly uncomfortable, left the store without buying anything. Meanwhile, my day continued with him scolding me, even though the mistake wasn't my fault. He made me feel awful, as if I should have caught the error, but I didn't say anything. I was afraid of being fired, especially so close to Christmas. My next shift was a few days later, and as soon as I arrived, I was called into his office. I started to panic, thinking I was about to lose my first job. To my surprise though, there was a manager from another location waiting for me. The original manager apologized for his behavior, looking pretty embarrassed. Afterward, he left the office, and I learned he had lost his job. Apparently, the couple had been so disgusted by how he treated me that they called the company to complain. While I wasn't aiming for revenge, their actions gave me a sense of justice. I'll always be grateful to them for standing up for me when I couldn't stand up for myself. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.